One of the things that I don't know if you could say people struggle with, but some of the things I get asked a lot about is the educational. Should we take the kids out of school? What are the educational options? What are the educational things at Walt Disney World? Isn't it just a big playground, a big park? There are lots of educational opportunities around Walt Disney World. So this week I want to talk about my 5 top educational areas at Walt Disney World. Now, if you start at the hotels, the water park, every part of Walt Disney World has educational opportunities. But these are my 5 top educational areas at Walt Disney World. The first is Liberty Square. Liberty Square is history. It's all history. That's what it's all about. From the Hall of Presidents. Now, the Hall of Presidents is probably the most packed part of history. Maybe the American Adventure, but the Hall of Presidents, you've got the Great Seal of the United States, which is guarded by the Secret Service. You've got the artifacts that are in there. You've got the show where you get to see all 43 presidents be introduced and acknowledge their introductions. You've got the speaking by President Trump. Like him or not, he speaks, and it's a very good speech. You've got that whole show is just very educational. You've got the Liberty Square Riverboat. You've got the Liberty Bell itself. You've got a replica of the Liberty Bell. You've got Liberty Tree Tavern, where you can go kind of see the old-fashioned garb that people wear. Kind of have an old-fashioned historic meal from what they would have had back in those days. Not really, but kind of. And probably my favorite part of that whole area is the new show, The Muppets, Great Moments in American History. But mostly the American parts, as Sam Eagle says. I really like that show. It's so cool. But it really is history. It tells you about the history of the writing of the Declaration of Independence. That is a great area for history at Walt Disney World. The second area that I think is good for educational opportunities at Walt Disney World, this is a different kind of area, is Animal Kingdom. All of Animal Kingdom. It's just, you've got all the little exhibits where they have the animals that they talk about. You have Kilimanjaro safaris where you go out and you see all the animals in nature, in their elements. You've got the new bird show. You've got the bird show where they actually teach about the birds and the problems that they're having in the wild and how they act in the wild. You've got the trails, the Pangani Forest Exploration Trail and the Maharaja Jungle Track, where you got tigers, where you've got actual animals that you can get up close to, and you can kind of see all of those things in their elements. I just like Animal Kingdom. You've got Dinosaur, where you've got the replicas of the T-Rex. You've got Wilderness Explorers. That's another big one. Wilderness Explorers, where you go through and you earn the badges. That's probably the best educational opportunity at Disney World for kids, because they make it fun. They make the learning about life fun, how life works on how animals, and they're just really, really good. And then even It's a Bug's Life. It talks about how bugs work. That's Animal Kingdom is probably the premier educational opportunity at Walt Disney World. All right, next area, Area 3, is the seas with Nemo and Friends. Again, you get to see the animals, the actual fish and mammals, and you've got the manatees, you've got the dolphins, you've got the stingrays, you've got all the different animals, you've got the clownfish, you've got the whole area down there. They're teaching, even the games in there teach you, the games in there at Turtle Talk with Crush, the games there teach you about how animals interact with nature. It just really is a special place and a special educational opportunity. Next comes the World Showcase. While we're in Epcot, you go over to the World Showcase. Educational opportunities. Every country has, you get to see the history, the culture, the people. Actually, people that come from those countries work in those pavilions. So you get to meet people from all around the world, and it's a real good educational opportunity. Of course, the American Adventure, you've got all kinds of history. You've got the new African American exhibit you've got the show. Just really, really good educational stuff in the World Showcase. And then my last one and my favorite one is Tomorrowland. Dad, Tomorrowland, really? Educational? Yes, Tomorrowland is educational. Tomorrowland Transit Authority. Yeah, it's just the thing that goes around. But Walt was the first one to come up with what's called the linear induction motor. It's the little thing that powers Tomorrowland Transit Authority. It probably, if Walt had lived, it probably would have been a premier way to power a lot of things. But when Walt died, Disney kind of lost interest in it and it kind of went away. But you see the high-speed trains that are magnet driven. Those things, and the real high-speed bullet trains are driven by magnet. That's the same processes that are used in the linear induction motors. So you've got the science of that. You've got the science of changing the voices in Monsters Inc. How you can take somebody that doesn't really even sound like Mike Wazowski and make him sound like Mike Wazowski. That's just cool. There's just all kinds of there's that big stone out there that rolls, and there's just all kinds of science opportunities there in Tomorrowland. So the bottom line is, from the time you get under those arches that says welcome to Walt Disney World, there are educational opportunities all around Walt Disney World. Disney makes it fun. It's a great place to teach your kids, and do it in a fun way, and don't make it boring. Just learn. You learn about it and you teach it to them. If your school balks about you going to Disney World, tell them about the educational things that you plan to teach your children while you're at Walt Disney World. Like Crosby, Stills, and Nash said, teach your children well. Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to dadsguidetowdw.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.